The interview was scheduled for 2 p.m. sharp at Nexus Corp, and Daniel Chen had spent 3 years working toward this moment. Fresh credentials from the Interstellar Engineering Academy, a portfolio that had impressed even his harshest professors, and a recommendation letter from Dr. Yavesh himself. Everything aligned perfectly for his dream position as lead systems architect. At 1:47 p.m., Daniel stood on the metro platform, mentally rehearsing his opening remarks. The silver towers of Nexus Corp gleamed in the distance, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the afternoon sun of New Terra. 13 minutes. Plenty of time. That's when he heard the sound, a guttural, pained wheeze coming from behind the platform's waste recycling unit. Daniel's first instinct was to ignore it. He had 13 minutes. 12 now, but the sound came again, weaker this time, and something in his chest tightened. He took 2 steps toward the stairs leading up to street level, then stopped. Damn it, he muttered, turning back. Behind the recycling unit, collapsed against the grimy wall, was a Karvathi. The alien's 4 arms were clutched around its thorax, and the bioluminescent patterns across its carapace, normally a healthy azure, flickered weakly between gray and sickly yellow. Purple blood seeped from a gash along its side. "Hey, are you okay?" Daniel knelt beside the creature, knowing it was a stupid question even as he asked it. The Karvathi's compound eyes focused on him with difficulty. "Human," it rasped in heavily accented standard. "Go, dangerous." "They return." "Who returns?"
"What happened?"
"Syndicate. Took documents. Stabbed." The alien's breathing grew more labored. "Go, miss an appointment." Daniel glanced at his comm device. 1:51 p.m. The Nexus Corp building was a 15-minute walk minimum. If he called emergency services now and waited for them to arrive, he'd never make the interview. If he left, this alien might die before help came. He thought of his tiny apartment, his student loans, his mother's medical bills back on Earth. He thought of the salary Nexus Corp offered, enough to change everything. Then he looked at the purple blood pooling on the concrete. "Screw it," Daniel said. Pulling off his jacket, he pressed it against the wound, eliciting a hiss of pain from the Karvathi. With his free hand, he dialed emergency services. "This is Daniel Chen at Metro Station 7, Platform B. I have a Karvathi with a stab wound, significant blood loss. Also contact security. Assailants may return." The Karvathi's eyes widened. "Your interview?" "Yeah, well, dead aliens don't make great networking contacts," Daniel said, trying for humor despite his racing heart. "Stay with me here." "What's your name?" "Zixthara, corporate executive. They wanted merger codes, corporate espionage, fantastic." Daniel kept pressure on the wound, his expensive interview shirt now soaked in purple. "Well, Zixthara, I'm Daniel. Try not to die on me, okay? I'm having a bad enough day already." A flicker of what might have been amusement crossed the alien's features. Humor. During crisis. Very human. The next 8 minutes were the longest of Daniel's life. He talked continuously, keeping Zixthara conscious, rambling about his studies, his favorite Earth foods, the terrible hovercar traffic on New Terra. When 3 figures emerged from the station's service entrance, Daniel's heart nearly stopped. "That's him," one shouted. "He saw us." But before they could advance, Daniel heard the most beautiful sound in the universe. Sirens. The assailants scattered like roaches as emergency responders and security forces flooded the platform. A human paramedic gently moved Daniel aside. "You did good, kid. Probably saved its life." Daniel looked at his ruined clothes, his blood-stained hands, his shattered comm device screen, cracked when he dropped it in the struggle to keep pressure on the wound. 47 p.m. The interview was long over. He sat on a bench as they loaded Zixthara into the med transport, feeling numb. 3 years of work gone because he couldn't walk past someone in need. "Idiot," he whispered to himself. "Noble, stupid idiot." The next morning, Daniel woke to 17 missed calls and 43 messages. Most were from his friends offering condolences about the missed interview. One was from Nexus Corp. Probably a polite rejection, he thought bitterly. He opened it anyway. "Mr. Chen, please report to Nexus Corp headquarters at your earliest convenience. Ask for Executive Suite Alpha." Dr. Yavesh confused but with nothing to lose. Daniel dressed in his only other decent suit and made the journey he'd been unable to complete the day before. "Dr. Yavesh." His former professor met him in the lobby with an expression Daniel couldn't quite read. "Follow me, Daniel." They rode the elevator to the top floor in silence. When the doors opened, Daniel found himself in a corridor of frosted glass and ambient light. Dr. Yavesh led him to a set of double doors that slid open with a whisper. Inside, standing behind a massive desk with all four arms functioning and bioluminescent patterns glowing a healthy blue, was Zixthara. "Mr. Chen," the Karvathi said, and Daniel recognized that voice, stronger now but unmistakable. "I am Zixthara Kolveth, Chief Executive Officer of Nexus Corp." Daniel's mind went blank. You're the CEO?" "I am. Yesterday I was returning from a classified meeting when I was attacked. You sacrificed your interview, your dream, I'm told, to save my life." Zixthara moved from behind the desk, approaching him. "In my culture, such a debt is not taken lightly. But more than that, I saw something yesterday that no amount of credentials can demonstrate." "What's that?" Daniel asked weakly. "Character. The codes they stole from me contain security protocols for this entire facility. Had I died, the delay in changing those systems could have cost this company billions and endangered thousands of lives. You chose a stranger's life over your ambition without hesitation." Zixthara's patterns pulsed with warmth. "The lead systems architect position is yours if you still want it. But I'm offering something else, Executive Director of Security Integration. A new position, higher responsibility, higher pay, and direct access to me. Because I want people who will always make the right choice even when it costs them everything." Daniel looked at Dr. Yavesh, who smiled and nodded. He looked back at Zixthara, at the alien whose life he'd saved without knowing who they were. Daniel's voice caught. "I thought I'd thrown everything away." "No, Mr. Chen," Zixthara said. "You proved you were exactly who we needed. Welcome to Nexus Corp." As Daniel shook the CEO's offered hand, all four of them in turn, according to Karvathi custom, he realized that sometimes missing your destination leads you exactly where you need to be. And sometimes humanity's greatest strength isn't its technology or intelligence, but its stubborn refusal to walk past someone who needs help, no matter the cost.